about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's good, YouTube? It's that fantasy guy with Mr. Daniels, and this is our Cowboys expert. And we're doing a new segment. The name of this segment is Keeping Up with the Boys.
Keeping up with the boys.
This is we're talking about nothing but Cowboys here. So let's get it.
That's what I do. I keep up with them boys and hoping for the best. So we got the Dallas Cowboys. We always in the news. I know we America's team. People love us or hate us. So we're just gonna talk about the Cowboys for a few minutes. So we got the Cowboys. They picking at number 24 this year in the draft. I know we got the combine that came about 2 weeks ago, and then we got the draft. We got Cowboys being in the news for issues from cutting Loud Collins, not signing Randy Gregory, trading Amari Cooper, and we seeing what we left with. We had a lot of free agents. We ain't really been making moves in the free agent market thus far, even though we have a couple of signings. And so we just gonna hit into some of these topics. So Jerry Jones made a comment today. He basically said that I think that I wouldn't dismiss a great opportunity for a pass rusher. So as a Cowboy fan, I gotta look at why are we in this situation? Because that wasn't one of the things that I thought we had to be looking for in the draft. Because if you have DeMarcus Lawrence on one side and Randy Gregory on the other side, you're looking pretty strong there. Then when you can bring Michael Parsons in on certain plays or against certain players, you're looking pretty strong there. So the Cowboys was at the closing table to sign Randy Gregory, and they did not get it done. Okay, so my hope before Randy Gregory, before Randy Gregory got cut got signed by the Broncos, I thought we was going into the draft. I knew the Cowboys needed help on our interior line, offensive line, or we needed help on our interior defensive line. So these are positions that I was like, we need a left guard, or we need a defensive tackle, or one technique in particular. And if I had my pick in the draft, I would have went with no, this is a combine stud. What's his name out of Georgia?
You talking about that big boy that ran fast like Jordan Davis, something like that.
Yeah, I'm talking about Jordan Davis from Georgia. I want to get his attributes. I don't have his stats with me. I want to see because this is amazing. So you got a guy. He's 6'6", 341, 34-inch arms, 10-inch hands, and this guy right here ran a 4.78, 32-inch vertical, and a 1.23 broad jump. You ain't finding guys like this just and walking in the neighborhood. These guys, this is a unique athlete. So if you had somebody like him to be able to play for the Cowboys, you would have had somebody that's going to take up the center and the guard. They're going to take up two linemen to have to block him. And he has so much quickness. He has some agility and stuff. So he stops the run game. And if the guys did block him, you have Michael Parsons or Leighton Vander Esch. He needs that kind of help. Leighton Vander Esch is a better linebacker when the D lineman can stay on the offensive lineman and they can scrape. They can run to the ball because Leighton Vander Esch can run. He can run to the ball. Michael Parsons, he can run all day. We have some other linebackers that we hope that show up. It's yet to be determined. We may have to draft some also. But if you got your defensive line that can get into the O-line's grill, these linebackers have a lot easier job. And I thought that's what we were going to have because if you had Randy Gregory on the edge, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, and then we had some young guys that kind of rotated in last year at D tackle that kind of showed up. We would have been tough on defense. But now
I got your first pick of the draft. I got your first pick of the draft.
So my first pick, I would have loved to be.
No, I have your first pick.
Who was going to be our first pick?
We're going to Brennan Donahue, the number one most accurate mock drafter over the past 5 years in NFL seasons. And we're going to go to his mock draft and see where he got the Cowboys picking at 24, and they are picking the linebacker from Georgia, no cool. Oh, what is that? The
Kobe
Kobe
Dean.
Dean. The Kobe Dean. That's who you got. How you feeling?
So Nakobe Dean. So we might need a linebacker. He is a very instinctive linebacker. Like he can run to the ball. Like he diagnoses the plays very quickly. He is undersized. I want to see what his size is in the combine. What they? I want to say they held him at. I'm gonna look up his bio. Uh, so we got Nakobe Dean. I actually scouted them out today. So I was trying to find out like, okay, what I love that Georgia defense. So the things that we talked about with Jordan Davis brought to the table, he actually was a teammate of Jordan Davis, right? So let me see. Kobe Dean.
5'11" for a linebacker. Good God.
He didn't run the 40. Did he do participate? What they got him at? Because he didn't participate in that. Let me see if he did a bench.
I just see his measurements. 5'11", 229. He was the highest rated linebacker for Lance Zerlin.
So he's 5'11", 229. So okay. So Nakobe Dean. Kobe Dean, he's 5'11", 229. He is a very instinctive linebacker. He knows how to get to the ball. Uh, he's definitely going to be a first round pick, but he is undersized. So not every GM, not every team is going to fall in love with him. Actually, watching the tape on him, the reasons I love Jordan Davis, and Georgia actually had two defensive tackles that actually caused some problems up front, and they got an edge rusher that might go pretty high in the draft. But actually, they actually had two other linebackers that were probably more athletic than the Kobe Dean. That actually fits today's NFL better than the Kobe Dean. So if you play the Tampa 2, you can go in the Kobe Dean. Like I said, the Kobe Dean made a lot of tackles. He is the Buckets Award winner. But the other one, they had, if you look up, his name is Walker, um, Quay Walker. And they also had a linebacker named Tyndall. Now, these guys, man, Quay Walker, I love his size. I love his speed. I love his agility. I saw it in the combine too, but even on film, you could just see this like that guy. He's a good athlete. like like he is something special. So I actually like him, and the fact that you probably could get him in. I don't think he's gonna fall that much further, but maybe the Cowboys could draft or move down and pick up a few picks. But if you got a linebacker like him too, you wouldn't do yourself disservice. Like he's just as good to me.
And
Um,
Lance Zerlin rated him the fourth overall linebacker.
yeah,
Six
that
four, two
6'4",
forty one,
41.
ran a 4.52.
Yeah. So when you see somebody, and it's easy to see, like he runs well, he's big, fast, strong. That's what you want. I mean, he's the type of person like even if like let's say you got a running back like Alvin Kamara that can come out the backfield, this guy can cover pretty well. You would think with those measurables. So I like Quay Walker when I was watching him. I think the Kobe Dean is like it is a difference between being an athlete and a football player, but both of them are good football players. Quay Walker is the better athlete possibly. So um,
I
then they
got your
also
second round pick in.
who was the second round pick.
Cowboys are going hard to solidify the defense that's been struggling. Um, Jaquan Brisker. He's a safety out of Penn State.
I'm
Lance
having to look.
Zerlin rated this guy the second best out of the safeties.
Okay, I have to do my research on him. I'm not that far. The safety. I do know I was begging and hoping for years that the Cowboys would get a safety. You know, we was had a safety drought, but this past year we actually picked up Javon Curse. He came in and did excellent job as far as his leadership ability, his talents on the field. Was able to finally shine because he had been playing in Minnesota and Detroit. He came to the Cowboys and really showed up. He was a vocal leader. He made plays. Probably led the team in tackle. Well, like as far as the secondary, led team in tackles. Had some interceptions. And the guy that I coveted coming out of college was uh, we have another safety that Malik Hooker. So Malik Hooker.
Cowboys on the board again. And in the third round draft, Tyreek Castro Fields, cornerback out of Penn State.
Yeah, I got to research him. But so the safety. So we got Malik Hooker. We got Javon Curse. They came in, solidified our safety spot. Now I know some people that I looked at Dax Hill out of Michigan. Where they have him ranked as a safety on that? I know you went to the third round, but where do they have Hill? Do you see him?
He's number 4.
So he looks like he's a good safety, and also they had a safety out of Baylor that that people are looking at that could produce. Do they have a Baylor safety on this like Petrie?
Right there's the 9th safety.
Okay. So safety. So Cowboys, I think we're good at safety at this moment. You always want to upgrade and find good playmaking ball hawk safety. So the third round you had corner. The cornerback position for us could be upgraded on left corner. You know, we got Trayvon Diggs. He's a first team All Pro. Then you need some corners. The corner that I covet the most, but would be in the first round, would be the corner out of LSU. Can you look him up? Let me see his attributes.
Tyreek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley
That
Jr.
means you not on Sauce Gardner?
Well, I think so this is what it is. If you look at the production that Derek Stingley had early in his career, like his first year, and if you go look at some of the tape that I've seen when he was guarding the boy that played for Cincinnati now, your wide receiver Jamar Chase, they played on the same team, so they got some practice film on them going at each other, and they was having some battles. It was very impressive. So I'm just saying that guy playing at his potential, he's the best corner in the draft. He is. But Sauce Gardner, I love his. I think he has the highest floor because it seemed like Derek Stingley kind of didn't play. He gave up on this. I don't know what was going on. He just didn't play up to the level that we had seen previously, and you just got to ask yourself why. You know, did LSU not as strong, as powerful as it was? He didn't want to get hurt. That's a good possibility because he knew he was going to be a first round pick because he will be. You know, it's a lot of stuff that went on with that decision. Why he, like I said, he got a little nicked up early, and then I think he tried to come back, but he just, he just wrapped it up. So he wasn't trying to play at it. But I don't. But somebody like Gardner, Sauce Gardner, he seems like he had the mentality. I'm gonna play football no matter what. Like just put me on the field. I want to play. He got good instincts. He's long. He looks skinny, but he's pretty physical. So yeah, Sauce Gardner. I just don't think he'll be there. I'm saying Derek Stingley. I think he could fall to 24 because of how his production just fell off the last couple of years.
Right, you're picking it. Your pick is in for the 4th round.
Fourth round, what we got?
The Cowboys signed Dante Fowler, but he is coming off 2 poor seasons. So the Cowboys draft at the 129th pick, Allie Gay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know who that guy is.
Defensive end, LSU.
I'm gonna go watch him because I like that kind of deal. Like when you go to LSU, when you go to USC, Michigan, well, certain big schools, especially LSU, you get an athlete. You know, they get athletes constantly. So sometimes they don't live up to their expectation. Like Daniil Hunter was that one of those guys. He didn't have a production at LSU, made it to the pros and made it happen. So I'm intrigued by this guy that you're talking about, but I don't really know who he is at this point. But I know if you get a scholarship at LSU, you start at LSU, somebody might want to look at. And we do need a defensive end because of Randy Gregory left. Dante Fowler, man, I'll be honest with you, he's actually had a better career than Randy Gregory. I don't think he had as much upside as Randy Gregory, or he's what Randy Gregory was last year. But if you look at his career numbers, his career is better than Randy Gregory, and he was a third pick in the draft also. So if Dan Quinn can pull something out of him, we we'll see what happens. I like the way he plays. Actually, he's not as strong handed as Randy Gregory, but he got some quickness. He's fast. He's strong. He is strong, and he plays with he plays like he likes football. He loves the game. So his stats don't look like nothing his last couple of years, but I think he loves football. He can play. And I kind of seen some other things where I like his personality. I think he's going to be a good fit for the locker room. I think the kind of lion, the kind of dog that Michael Parsons is can bring something out of him too, because he seemed like a pretty competitive guy also. So I think he might work out for the Cowboys. He might be a sleeper for us.
All right, the 5th round pick is in. The Cowboys lost Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson this offseason. So here's a replacement. The Cowboys at 155 select Charles Rambo, wide receiver out of Miami.
I like Charles Rambo. We talked about that. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's somebody you can develop. I think at this point in time, the Cowboys, you do have Michael Gallup. I know he's coming up the ACL. You hope to have him. CeeDee Lamb, you hope to develop into that number one. I am disappointed in how we handled the Amari Cooper situation. It was not a good trade. We didn't get the value that we should have if you was going to trade him. But you should have kept him on the team because he is a number one receiver. Teams do respect him. You have to pay attention to Amari Cooper. So you do have to find some kind of way to replace him. I prefer one of these upper level receivers, but Charleston Rambo, like I said, Cowboys have this theory. They believe in the receiver by committee. That is yet to be determined, even though this committee is much better than the first round of committee receivers that we tried to go for. And so, I wish we had Amari Cooper on the team, but if we get Charleston Rambo, that's a good late round pick, though. What did they have Justin Ross going?
Third round.
Third round.
To the Jaguars. The meet up, the pair back up.
And what about George Pickens? What about George Pickens?
I don't know. We talked about George Pickens. But he was a second rounder. He's a second rounder.
And I know a lot of Cowboy fans have been buzzing about Sky Moore, and I'll do some more evaluations on him. But yeah. But we will need a receiver now.
Cowboys have like 5 picks in the 5th round, something like that. They got more. So we got more. At the 167th, Ezekiel Elliott has disappointed the past 2 seasons. So perhaps the Cowboys would be interested in a late round running back. And at 167, they go with C.J. Bordell out of Oregon, the running back.
Yeah. I just saw a little bit of him. What did he run on the 40?
He's way down on my rankings. Way down. Nah, he ain't running 40, and his pro day is not until April 1st.
Yeah, I seen him. I know he was a starter, and I know they used him. He didn't really stand out, I guess. So I don't have much commentary on him. I do think we need a running back, though. And I am a believer in Ezekiel Elliott. Like the dude, he tore his PCL. So what that is, that's just like almost tearing your ACL, but you can play through it, right? So he tore it was about the 5th game of the season. If you go back and look at those first 4 or 5 games of the season that the Cowboys had, he was looking like Zeke. He was looking real nice. And then the rest of the season, he was never the same. Like and Tony Pollard, probably should have got way more carries, but Tony Pollard by the end of the season got hurt also. So you just need somebody that can come in and carry that number one load if he did get hurt again. But like Ezekiel, I'm a believer in Ezekiel myself. He really is a good running back. He's talented. The offensive line actually let him down also. But Ezekiel Elliott, if he's healthy, he's one of the top running backs in the NFL. There's no question.
All right. It might be too expensive for the Cowboys to keep Dalton Schultz in 2023 and beyond. So at 176, the Cowboys draft Jake Ferguson, tight end for Wisconsin.
Jake Ferguson. I like Wisconsin tight ends. Usually they develop pretty good ones. I don't know much about him. I'm gonna have to go research him. Jake Ferguson. I do know we need a tight end. I know that Jelani Woods is somebody that the Cowboys tight end coach worked out this past week, and this guy, he's 6'7", 250 pounds, and he ran a 4.61 at the combine. You know, I think he has straight line speed. He's not super twitchy. Why would you expect somebody 6'7", 250 to be that twitchy? But he ain't slow, and he ain't not. He ain't that. He's an athlete, so it ain't that he can't get around and get open and shake his hips. He's definitely a red zone threat. I know I heard like a lot of Cowboys they do mock drafts and they usually try to get him in the fifth, fourth, or fifth round, but he ain't gonna be there in the fourth and fifth round. Jelani Woods, because his red zone threat, and like I said, he got straight line speed, and he is an athlete. He is an athlete. He's an intriguing prospect. We do need a tight end. Cowboys, we need one that can run block and that can catch passes. So, I don't know if they're gonna sign Dalton Schultz to a long term deal. So we are definitely looking for one.
And the last fifth round pick for the Cowboys are in. The Cowboys will want to add more talent to their defensive line in the middle round.
We do. Oh yeah.
So at 178, the Dallas Cowboys draft. Whoo, it's hard to pronounce this name. Ioma was Sirky from Iowa State.
Iowa State.
You will have to check this guy out because I mean, if you can pronounce this guy's name better, you should take a gander at it because it's rough.
Oh man. Well, we drafted Chunston. Well, you said Iowa State though, huh? You said Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa State.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's rated. Lance Zerlin rated him the 8th defensive tackle off the board. So that looked like a good value from being picked the end of the 5th.
Well, we need help on the D line for sure. Like we do have like our starters are Neville Gallimore. They re-signed Carlos Watkins, which we probably could upgrade from there. I was impressed with Oza Adigizua. He plays for defensive tackle for us, and Tristan Hill was a second round pick for us. And we're still looking for some production from. With those guys, we need somebody. We need competition, so can't go wrong there. Like I said, Jordan Davis would be the pick for me. Man, I think he would transform and change our defense. And then the corner, the ones that actually would change our defense, like I said, the cornerback Daryl Stingley, Jordan Davis, our defense would be upgraded for sure.
Unfortunately, Jordan Davis goes 21, 3 picks before the Cowboys to the Patriots.
The Patriots. Man, the Patriots would know how to use them. Yeah, they would love that guy. It's like Vince Wilfork, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much probably what he is. And then the other thing, we need a guard. So the guards that I've been looking at that I know people been talking about is Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson. Where did they have them going in that mock draft? It's Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M and Zion Johnson out of Boston College.
Kenyon Green goes 27th to the Bucks. Mm-hmm. So he will be on the board. And who's the other guy? Zion Johnson, 26 to the Titans. So he would be on the board too.
So in the ideal for me, the ideal scenario, man. Like I said, I don't think Jordan Davis is going to be there. I don't think Derek Stingley is going to be there. So those guards are very intriguing. So that's where we suffered last year. I think that if we fix that situation, then we really looking good, and then the rest probably can go defense. I know we need a receiver at some point too.
Did you ever discuss how you felt about them letting the Amari Cooper go? Did we talk about that on here?
No, we talked. I just said I wasn't pleased with it, but we talked about the trade. But when we said we need to draft one in the 5th round, but no, that situation didn't go right. I feel they let him go because he didn't get vaccinated. his production had been going down, but that's because he wasn't targeted. Dalton Schultz was targeted more than he was, and so, but when he missed 2 games because he wasn't vaccinated, I think that didn't sit well with management, and then I think they was willing to let him go. The league knew that, so nobody gave him the value in the trade that they should have. There's no way that you should only got a because, like I said, 2 years ago we gave up what first round pick, and Amari Cooper was just 24 years old at the time, so he's still in the third. He's still a young receiver. And I remember the Cowboys talking about we're going to do this receiver by committee. It did not work, and so that's why we brought Amari Cooper in. And when Amari Cooper in, it changed everything. And so I can't forget that. Cowboys fans don't forget that, and Cowboy fans.
Oh, because that boy was racking up. But somewhere last year it seemed like Dak just got eyes for CD Lamb. It's like I watched him just throw ball after ball to CD Lamb.
Now both of them are good. Like I said, Amari Cooper, he runs Chris Ross. He knows how to get open. He knows the game. Smart, fast. He got everything you want in a receiver. It's just sometimes people would say he would go missing during games and things like that. But I don't know if that's Dak's fault. I don't know if that's Kellen Moore's fault. But I don't think that was Morris Cooper's fault. And I think it's still that mentality that we're going to do a receiver by committee. So it don't matter who you are. If you're open, we're going to get you the ball. But we see what the Rams did with Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl. Basically, they said, okay, we need to make these plays. The chemistry that Matt Stafford had with Cooper Kupp was unbelievable, and they won the Super Bowl with that chemistry. They did it all in their last drive. So I'm not pleased with
Get the
that.
ball to that boy Ben Sherwood or something like that, and
I
that
know what
wasn't
Odell
working
Beckham.
out. They said we just go out to feed Cup and see what he do.
So I don't know. The upper management coaches, they get caught up in their system, their schemes. That time I don't know, but players win football games in the NFL. And if you got Amari Cooper on your team, you just don't let him go. Especially when you got all this cap space that I guess they thought we was gonna sign Randy Gregory. So that's the next point. So I guess you can argue, okay, you got to let Amari Cooper go. We got too much money because I will say that I'm glad that they signed Michael Gallup. They had to allocate some money to him, but I think they got him on a team friendly deal considering what wide receivers are getting paid. So now you got Randy Gregory situation. They have him at the closing table, and all shenanigans break out. There's so many stories and different things about that situation. But at the end of the day, he signed with Denver, and I'm mad about that. I'm sad about that because he's always had all this tremendous potential, and he never did it with the Cowboys. He never did it. I never,
Well,
he
let's
had
go ahead and run
flashes.
through
Hmm.
everything the Cowboys did in free agents because we didn't talk about that on the last one. I saved the Cowboys specifically for this. So the
So,
Cowboys, like you said, they re-signed Michael Gallup on a 5-year
mhm,
deal, $57.5 million deal that includes $23 million fully guaranteed and
yeah,
has a max value of $62.5 million. The deal also includes a $10 million signing bonus. They signed James Washington to a 1-year deal. They signed Jeremy. They re-signed Jeremy Sprinkle. They put Dalton Schultz on a franchise tag. They agreed to a new 3-year, $40 million contract, $30 million guaranteed with DeMarcus Lawrence. Signed a 1-year contract for Carlos Watkins.
hmm,
Signed a 1-year contract with Dalton Fowler. Re-signed the 1-year deal with Linton Vanderish. Okay. Malik Hooker re-signed a 2-year deal. J-Run Curse re-signed a 2-year deal. Jake McHugh re-signed a 1-year deal. And punter Brian Anger re-signed a 3-year deal.
yeah. And then Dorrance Armstrong. I guess they resigned. Did they have Dorrance Armstrong in
They didn't
there?
have him on here.
Because they let Randy Gregory go or he got away, they re-signed Dorrance Armstrong. He plays defensive end, so he's basically gonna probably be the starting defensive end. And then Dante Fowler was the third pick in the draft. His career has not been probably with a third pick in the draft you would think, but I said he played with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn really respects him. They like each other. I think they got an even relationship before that. I think he grew up in Florida, and Dan Quinn used to bring him to the house, and they used to eat and stuff at Dan Quinn's house. So they got a good relationship. I think he's a high football IQ, high football character player. I like the way he plays as far as his intensity. He don't really quit. So he's not Randy Gregory as far as the physicality, but I think he can come in and do some of the things that Randy Gregory brought to the table. And then what's gonna happen? You can bring Marco Parsons in on third downs or certain special situations, and you can have him rush the passer too. So the Cowboys are gonna probably be all right. Could be all right. Dan Quinn did great job for it last year. They're probably gonna draft the end. I'm gonna have to do my research on these ends that they have available in the draft. But I heard there's a deep class for pass rushers, so that's a hope that we have. But like I said before, if we didn't need a pass rusher, I would go with this guard or this defensive tackle. But now you need a pass rusher. You got to get them early, so you might have to pick a pass rusher in the first round. So that's something that Cowboy fans need to look out for.
And when you say pass rusher, is that not a linebacker? Because that's what old boy had, the linebacker.
Linebacker? Well, certain linebackers, depending on what kind of scheme they come from, that's what they know. But the Kobe Dean, he is a traditional middle linebacker, kind of small. He's not going to be a pass rushing linebacker. No, he's going to be, but he could replace like Leighton Vanderich or yeah, because Leighton Vanderich on a 1 year deal. But Michael Parsons, like when Michael Parsons, if you move him down to defensive end, well then you could put him in a linebacker and he'll clean that up. So you know.
Well, Walter Football has a different pick for you at the 24. Maybe you'll appreciate this one more. Um, Tyron Smith can't be trusted because he always seems to get hurt. Leo Collins is gone.
Oh
Dallas
man,
suddenly
he
needs
didn't
a
talk about
tackle
that.
very badly. So they say Dallas Cowboys at the 24 pick, Trevor Penning from North Iowa. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna have to defer to, like I said, we do need a tackle. We do need an offensive tackle. Um, so this is what they do. So the Cowboys, we got Tyron Smith. When he's healthy, plug and play. Let's go. But he has not to say consistently healthy. Then you got Terrence Steele. The reason they felt like they can get rid of Lyle Collins because Terrence Steele, when he came in, now 2 years previous, not last year, but the previous year, man, he stunk up like he was an undrafted free agent we had on our team. He did not play well. It was like you cannot do it with this guy. But last year, when Lyle Collins got suspended, this guy came in, and you can argue that he played better than Lyle Collins. You can make the argument that he played better than Lyle Collins, and that gave them room and leverage to let Lyle Collins go. Even though that a lot of Cowboy fans, and I'm in agreement, I wish they would have tried to move Lyle Collins to guard to see what he could do there. And then that would have fixed the guard spot that I'm talking about, that we need to draft a guard now. But if you had, but he might have got paid, they look at the budgets and things like that. But if you had Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins, Biotish, Zach Martin, and if you had Terrence Steele, you probably is fine. You still need to draft the tackle just because the age of, Tyron Smith is actually not that old. It's just that he's having this injury history. You probably then we drafted a tackle last year that didn't play, kind of had a red shirt year, so it's yet to be determined. I think his name is Ball. See what he's gonna do. But our offensive line needs to be upgraded. It needs to be solidified. And I think that's one of the reasons the Cowboys struggled on offense last year. Everybody think that we had this great, strong offensive line, but it wasn't that last year, no. So, and then Kellen Moore, I don't know if the issues with how we played against San Francisco. Was it Kellen Moore? Was it Dak? But we could have got the ball to our playmakers a little bit better than what we did. So once you fix that offensive line, maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah. Because San Francisco, they only rush four. Like, they don't even have an exotic scheme. All they do is bring Bosa. Bosa got hurt during the game, and then San Francisco got some other linemen that can play. And they were just coming at us, and we couldn't stop it. So it wasn't, Dak didn't play, and then it hurt Dak too because they was in his face.
You still have nightmares about that game, don't you?
Yeah, I still have nightmares because if we would have got past them, I think we would have beat Tampa Bay. Here we go again. But I don't know if we would have beat the Rams. Rams was ready, man. The Rams had a good coach. That's who I feared the most anyway.